The tuxedo clung to me like a punishment. The mirror in the groomsman's dressing room reflected a version of me I didn't recognize. Hollow eyes, clenched jaw, tie strangling my throat. Behind me, laughter echoed from the hall where my brother, Ethan, was marrying the woman I once planned to spend my life with. Lena. Her name still burned like acid in my chest. "Come on, man," one of the other groomsmen said, slapping my shoulder. "You're up soon. Your old man's watching." My old man. The reason I was even here. Be his groomsman or your scholarship disappears. That's what Dad had said a week ago, voice calm but eyes like iron. He was the university's biggest donor, and he knew exactly how to use that leverage. He said it was family duty. I called it emotional blackmail. I stared at my reflection again, my pulse pounding. The smell of cologne, roses, and champagne made me nauseous. I could still taste betrayal on my tongue like copper. 2 months earlier, I'd walked into Lena's apartment unannounced. It was raining, my clothes soaked, and I'd brought her takeout because she'd said she wasn't feeling well. I remember thinking how lucky I was to have someone like her. Loyal, warm, soft-spoken. I pushed open her bedroom door and froze. Her voice, moan, and Ethan's laugh. It took me a full 10 seconds to process what I was seeing. His hand on her thigh, her whispering his name, the same name she used to say when she told me she loved me. I didn't yell. I didn't even cry. I just dropped the food on the floor and left. The next day, Ethan called it a mistake that just happened. Lena said she'd fallen for him slowly. I stopped believing in coincidences that night. Now I stood in a church decorated with white lilies and gold ribbon, a place meant for promises. I could hear Lena's voice through the thin wooden doors as she rehearsed her vows. The same voice that used to hum when I traced circles on her skin. Dad appeared beside me, sharp in his tailored suit. His cologne hit first, expensive and suffocating. "You're doing the right thing, Nathan," he said, straightening my tie. "Families stick together. Don't ruin your brother's big day." I wanted to laugh. My brother's big day. The man who stole my girlfriend and my peace. "What about my big day, Dad?" I muttered. "The one I was supposed to have with her." He gave a condescending smile. "You're young. You'll move on. Ethan and Lena, well, they just fit better." I looked at him, then really looked. The man who'd spent my whole life molding Ethan into a golden child and me into a shadow. This wasn't about family. It was about image. About control. The ceremony began. I walked behind Ethan, my fists buried in my pockets. He grinned like he hadn't shattered me. Lena avoided my eyes, but her hands trembled as she held her bouquet. The priest's voice droned on, but my mind was far away, flashing through every late-night talk Lena and I had, every time she'd said she couldn't imagine life without me. And now, here she was, dressed in white, lying in front of God. When it came time for the vows, I swear I felt time slow. Ethan promised to protect and cherish her. Lena's voice cracked when she said, "I do." Then the priest turned to me. "Best man, the rings." I hesitated. The velvet box in my pocket felt heavy, cursed. I took it out slowly, opened it and held it out. But something inside me broke loose. My hand started trembling, the words I'd buried clawing up my throat. Couldn't do it. I looked directly at Lena. "You remember where those rings came from?" I said quietly, but the microphone caught it anyway. "They were the ones I bought for our engagement." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Ethan's face drained of color. "Nathan, don't." Kept going. "You told me you loved me, Lena. You wore that ring for weeks before you." I stopped, the room spinning. My father stood furious, but I didn't care anymore. I turned to the guests, my voice rising. "They lied to everyone. Me. To you. And now my father wants me to smile through it, or he'll destroy everything I worked for. That's the kind of family we are." Silence fell heavy as stone. Lena's mascara streaked. Ethan grabbed my arm, hissing, "You're pathetic. Always were." I laughed. Hollow, broken sound. "Then congratulations, brother. You finally took everything I had. I tossed the ring box at his chest and walked out. The church doors slammed behind me with a thunder that felt like freedom. Outside the air was cold, sharp, cleansing. My phone buzzed, Dad again. I let it ring until it stopped. Minutes later I stood by my car, shaking. I expected to feel regret. But all I felt was relief. Then my phone buzzed again. A message from the university dean. Mr. Hale, I've been informed about your scholarship. Please come see me Monday. Decide. So Dad had made good on his threat. I just detonated my future. But when I looked up at the sky, rain starting to fall, I smiled through the tears. Because for the first time in years I'd chosen myself. A week later I met with the dean. He said the university had received an anonymous donation, covering my entire tuition and a stipend. The donor note simply read, "For the one who refused to stay silent." I never found out who sent it. Maybe someone saw that video of the wedding that went viral, maybe someone believed in me. But that mystery didn't matter. What mattered was this. I wasn't the family disappointment anymore. I was the only one who told the truth. And in that truth, I finally found peace.